I used to have this image of myself, a pretty normal guy, you know? But then I saw my reflection in a car window late at night, and for the first time, I saw myself the way she must have seen me. And I realized the monster I was looking for was me. This all started a little over a year ago. I had just moved to Austin, Texas for a new job. Everything was new and exciting. The city was great, the music scene was amazing, and I was finally making some decent money. I was living in a small apartment complex near Zilker Park, and my life was pretty simple. I worked, I went to concerts, I tried to meet people. I was lonely, I guess, but I told myself it was just part of the new city thing. That's when I met Sarah. Or, well, I saw her. She was a barista at my favorite coffee shop, the one I went to every morning. She had this incredible laugh that would just light up the room, and she was always so kind to everyone. I was too nervous to actually talk to her, so I just watched. I'd notice her outfit, how she'd tie her hair up when it got busy, the way she'd hum along to the music playing in the shop. I didn't see it as creepy. I saw it as observing. I was a quiet guy, a bit shy. That's what I told myself. It started with small things. I figured out her schedule. I'd go to the coffee shop on her days, making sure I was there right as her shift started. I told myself I just preferred the morning shift barista. When she started talking about her love for hiking, I suddenly had this burning desire to explore the hiking trails around the city. I went out and bought a new pair of hiking boots, a backpack, the whole deal. I never thought about why I was doing it. I just justified it to myself. It was a new hobby. One day, I was driving home and I saw her at a crosswalk. She was laughing with a friend. I felt this weird pull. I didn't mean to follow her, but I did. I just drove behind her car until she pulled into the parking lot of her apartment building. It was a different complex from mine, on the other side of town. When I got home, I told myself it was a coincidence, a total accident. What were the chances? It was just a weird, random thing. I know how crazy this sounds. I'm saying this now and it's making me sick. But at the time, I truly believed my own excuses. I was lonely. I was just trying to connect. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't stalking. The next few weeks, I started seeing her everywhere. Or I put myself in places where I knew I'd see her. I'd go to the dog park where her friend, a guy named Mark, often took his dog. I'd linger a few aisles away from her at the grocery store, pretending to be engrossed in which brand of pasta I should buy. I'd park my car outside her apartment for a few minutes before driving home, just to see if I could catch a glimpse of her. I started taking pictures. Not of her face, not close up, just of her from a distance. Her bright pink backpack on a bench, her distinctive silver car in a parking lot. I justified it as a way to remember the city, the people I saw. I had a whole album on my phone I called Austin Memories. The final incident, the one that finally broke through my denial, happened a month ago. I had noticed that Sarah and her friend, Mark, were getting closer. I saw them on a date once. It made me feel empty, like something I was entitled to was being taken away from me. I knew it wasn't rational, but it was how I felt. I was feeling really low, so I decided to go to the park late at night. I didn't expect to see anyone, but as I was walking, I saw a familiar flash of color. It was Sarah's pink backpack, sitting on a bench by the creek. I walked closer, my heart pounding in my chest. She was there, sitting with Mark. They were talking, laughing, and then they kissed. something just snapped inside me. It felt like a punch to the gut. I walked toward them, not even thinking. I just wanted them to see me. I wanted them to know I was there. I got within about 20 feet, and that's when Mark looked up. His eyes widened. He saw me. He said something to Sarah, and she turned around. The laughter died on her face. Her eyes were filled with fear. Pure, unadulterated terror. The kind of fear you see in a movie, but never expect to see directed at you. She grabbed Mark's hand, and they both just ran. They didn't even look back. They just ran. And that's when I saw it. I saw myself through her eyes. The guy who showed up everywhere. The guy who was always watching. The guy who was now standing there, alone, in the dark, with a sick sense of entitlement and rage. I wasn't just a quiet, shy guy. I was the monster. I was the stalker, and I had terrified an innocent person. I went home and just sat in the dark. I looked through my phone at the album called Austin Memories. It wasn't a collection of memories. It was a roadmap of my obsession. The pictures of her car, her backpack, the photos of her apartment building I had taken from a distance, the texts I had sent from a burner phone, messages so vague I had convinced myself they weren't threatening, but they were. The next morning, I packed everything I owned. I couldn't stay. I didn't deserve to. I wrote a letter, not to her, I couldn't face her, but to her friend Mark. I apologized for everything. I explained that I was leaving, that I would never bother them again. I tried to explain what I was doing and how wrong it was. I slipped it in his mailbox and got in my car. I don't know if they read it. I don't know if they believe me. I just know that I had to leave. I had to get away from a city and a person that brought out the worst in me. I'm in a new town now, a few states away. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to figure out why I did what I did and how to make sure I never, ever become that person again. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How easy it is to justify your own actions, to believe your own lies, until one day you see yourself through someone else's eyes and realize you're the villain in your own story.